I look forward to this all week.
appreciate it.
I don't know if that says a lot about me or more about you, but
I think that's a bad sign for the both of us. What happened to my chair? I did. I almost fell on my ass. What are you talking about?
What are you mad about today,
All right,
kid?
here we go. Three good ones, all hoops, all right? Number one, listen, they lost the game because they couldn't score, and I blame a lot of it on Shire, the Duke head coach. You cannot, under any circumstances, in a one-point game, call this on Cooper Flagg and the over the back on Saturday night in the Duke-Houston second half. This cannot be a foul call, okay? And it's Houston's ball there anyway, so they're going to get the ball. You have to look at that foul call from the advantage. There was 19 seconds to go in the game. It's a one-point game in the semifinals. Kid, this is a free throw. And you call this on Flagg, and now you're that. Houston got 2 free throws. They were over the limit. So Houston goes down the other side and makes the 1-on-1. That's an atrocious call. No, that's not the reason Duke lost, but it bothered me. And then the next night, in the final, now, listen, these 3 officials, they work too much anyway. They do 5 or 6 games a week. They're burned out at the end of the year. Did you know that they called 3 fouls in the first half of Florida-Houston on Monday night? They called 23 in the second half. Now, hold on now. I understand Houston's hard to officiate. You can't call 3 fouls in one half and 23 in the second half. That's 2 different games.
Oh, that is.
First half, you let them play, and then the second half, you call everything known to man. Which one is it, for crying out loud? You got to have a consistent outlook with the game. You want to call 23 fouls each half? I'll live with it. Players will adjust. I can't let them go nuts in the first half, and then I'm calling everything on they touch somebody. I'm calling a foul in the second half. I thought the officiating, and listen, these college officials, they do too many games. They're all over the place. They ref 6 games in 7 nights. They get burned out in April. I'll buy that. But I thought they had a rough couple days at the Final Four.
I'm with you there, man. You know what? The subjective
3 to 20. Is that right?
That is
3 to 23.
disparity.
Golly.
The subjective nature of calling fouls in basketball. Sometimes I'm watching the game, and look, I'm a football guy, right? I like watching basketball. I'm going, what the hell's that? Like, it doesn't even look the same. I mean, they're just like,
Yeah.
whistle blown, and that foul.
Right.
Cooper Flagg.
Way
That
too
was
much.
weak.
You can't call that on Cooper Flagg there. Jeez.
It is an absolutely thankless job. Best case scenario, we say nothing about you, but when you get it wrong, you're
You
in
get
bad
pounded.
dogs.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fine.
And again, it's a one-point game with 15 seconds to
Yeah.
go. Houston has the ball anyway. You can't call the foul on Cooper Flagg and put him at the line to win the game in the semifinals.
He was getting boxed out and pushed out.
Yeah, it was
That was
terrible.
close.
And I don't want to support Duke. They blew the game, but that's number one. All right, number 2. All right, now this one, the NBA wants us. The NBA wants us to get wrapped up in the end of the regular season. We spent all day here on the Western seating. And, you know, the play-in, it's important. It's a great Adam Silver invention. All right, you want me to buy that? And you want me to get by as a fan? You want me to get invested? You want me to be emotionally involved? All right, explain me this. You see the Bulls last night? I know it's Cleveland. You see the Bulls last night? They are playing for seeding. Nobody played. They rested their starting lineup. They're trying to catch Atlanta for the 7th spot, or 8th spot, which means a guaranteed home game and 1-1. If you go, you're in the play-in. You're in the body of work. Instead, they're stuck at the 9th seed. They got to win 2 games. I mean, that's ridiculous. You're playing this late in the year, and you can jump up in the seeding to a situation where it's advantageous. And I love Billy Donovan, but this is absurd. All 5 guys, Kobe White didn't play, Gidney didn't play, the center didn't play. Nobody played all 5. The 9th seed, they got to win 2 games. I mean, that's ridiculous. You're playing this late in the year, and you can jump up in the seeding to a situation where it's advantageous. And I love Billy Donovan, but this is absurd. All 5 guys, Kobe White didn't play, Gidney didn't play, the center didn't play. Nobody played. All 5 starters sat. Well, calf tightness, rest. Give me a break. You got 3 games to go in the regular season, and the Hawks lost to Orlando, which means if they had somehow beaten Cleveland and not Donovan Mitchell, you could have jumped Atlanta, be the 8th seed, meaning all you got to do is go 1-1, and you're in the postseason. Why am I investing? Why would I sit there and watch these games if these coaches are not going to take these games and think about them significantly and play their players? It's a joke. That drives me crazy. That's number 2.
I'm coming to you on that.
So the only logic that I can offer, I don't know if I agree with it, I don't agree with it, is perhaps if the Bulls end up facing Cleveland in the first round, that's not that far away, is there some element of not trying to show your entire hand?
Showing your hand.
Because if they're in the play-in, they're going to match up with one or two, depending on how that finishes out.
What's the point of watching the games if you're not going to play your best guys in a game that means something with a week to go in the season?
I hear you.
What do you think? It's the showing your hand
I
thing?
wouldn't watch. Probably. Coaches are always like that. They always think. But you know what? See, sometimes when people get into that, like showing your hand, like, come on, they've seen you play all year. I mean,
As I said, I'm just offering.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
coaches overthink this sometimes too. I just like the calf tightness thing. You know?
Right.
Calf tightness. I get calf tightness.
And they,
I get
by the
calf
way,
tightness a
look,
lot.
they all played Sunday night, and they beat Sharpe.
Oh, we know it's a
So
farce.
they all played.
We know it's a farce.
2
We
days
know what
later,
it
you
is.
can't play against Cleveland. And Mitchell didn't play. That's number 2. All right, number 3. I almost threw up on my Cheerios.
Oh, no.
When I saw this
You
one.
still eat
Not this
Cheerios?
part.
Yes. Did
Interesting.
anybody see Stephen
Honey
A's?
nut ones or
Really?
regular?
Honey
No, the
nut.
Cheerios.
You like the regular?
No, the honey nut.
Honey nut. That's
Yes,
the,
honey
yeah,
nut.
they're better.
Wow,
They're better.
throwback. Oh my God.
How about Stephen A? Do we have the clip on this?
Stephen A.
Yeah.
What do you
don't have-
do?
All right. Stephen A, he put Carmelo Anthony as a top 5 Knick of all time, and then he said he's a top 3 Knick last week. I had my buddy, Chris, hear what Stephen A said. And know what's that? Top 3 Knick, Carmelo Anthony. He won 1 playoff series in his career as a New York Knickerbocker. 1. Have you heard of Reed, who won an MVP and 2 championships? How about Clyde? How about Bernard King? How about Dave the Busher, who was the missing ingredient? You know how good this guy was? He was the missing ingredient to a team that won 2 championships. Here's King, who scored 60 in a game against the Nets on Christmas Day, who Bird said was incredible. I could never go to. How about Earl the Pearl Monroe, who played on the Knicks that won a title? And of course, Ewing. How in the world? I love him. And he's not here to defend himself, so I didn't want to do it, but they said, Chris, kill him. So I said, okay. I mean, you have to
Stephen A. or Melo?
They said Chris
Stephen
Gillum,
A.
so I
or
said,
Melo?
okay, all right.
Stephen A. You have, think about it. If you look at the Knicks and you do this logically, you can make an argument. Go ask Herb Klein, who's no longer with us, who sat and has a season ticket order since
I'll be more
1959. You can make an argument that Carmelo's not even in the top 5, that he's 7, because he's not Willis, he's not Ewing, he's certainly not Clyde, he's not the Busher, and he may not be Pearl, and he may not be Earl, and he may not be Bernard King, and forget Carl Braun and Dick McGuire. Don't be crazy.
I'm going to take this to
don't
the
hit your
streets
face.
later. I'm going to go man on the street.
I was about to say, this feels like a personal list, not solely based on championships.
Who's the Busher?
Dave the Busher.
Okay, I'm just not bad, you know. You know what the funniest part about all of this is that you said, you know, I wasn't going to do it because Stephen A's not here, but they said, go ahead and kill him. I said, okay, all right, I'll kill him. You didn't even think about it. You're like, okay, I'll kill him.
The Busher, folks, was traded from the White Sox. He was the
I mean,
player
I'm
manager.
gonna be honest with you. I can't be a part of this conversation because a lot of that grainy film, like I can't.
You can't deal with
I
that.
can't speak to it. No, I just can't. I can't
Busher.
speak to it.
I gotta do my
Give me more
research.
time.
I gotta do my research.
Listen, I agree. Molly makes a great point.
Yeah.
But I think that perhaps this was a personal list.
Oh, it was. They told me this was a list that he was in the top.
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
personal.
offering.
Well, I mean, that's different.
Because
No, she didn't-
I don't know for sure. I'm just offering
Sending
that.
an
I was,
offering.
you know, Carmelo Anthony being a first ballot Hall of Famer, like his body of work, his time with the Knicks. For a long time in modern basketball, he was the only guy that was willing to carry that weight in the city. That matters.
How many playoff wins?
I hear you. As I said, perhaps this is a personal list.
But
not
how
based
much
on
of that
play.
is on Melo?
You're getting paid $50 million.